Steve Kerr held his end-of-season press conference yesterday, and he went all the way back to the beginning. He talked about the fallout from Draymond Green punching Jordan Poole in practice. Take a listen.
Anytime some trust is lost, then it makes the process much more difficult. And there was some trust lost, and that's as blunt as I can be. There's no hiding from it. The incident with Draymond and Jordan at the beginning of the year played a role in that. It's hard for that not to impact a team.
Skip has called this since the jump. Shannon, jump in here. Do you like or do you have a problem with what Steve Kerr said? He was very blunt.
Everybody knows it's true. Only they tried to fool the people. Me being the next professional athlete, being in the locker room, I know the damage that it was going to do. Oh, it's going to be, unless you're professional boxers.
Yeah. That's
the only way you can punch somebody in the face and everything be cool afterwards. Other than that, we ain't about to be cool.
Yep.
And it's going to take some time because you could tell Jordan Poole had tuned Draymond out. Draymond tried to talk to him. It was almost like Draymond was talking to me, and I was 10,000 miles away. That's how Jordan Poole looked at Draymond. And he's right. It's going to take a while. Will it ever be the same? Probably not. Probably not. But as you get further and further away from things, Skip, it stings a little less, but it's always there.
Yeah.
And, man, this social media, this internet thing is unforgivable. Because guess what? 100 years from now, guess what? You can pull up that. And so he said, we're not a championship team without Draymond.
Yeah.
But I also know the ability of him coming back, him doing what he did might have a little weight heavily into him not being able to, us being able to bring him back.
Yep.
But I'm not surprised by any of this. It was them, Skip, trying to say, oh, no, we're professionals. We move on. That sounds good. But anybody that's ever been in the locker room, a professional locker room, no, it ain't.
Here's what got me about yesterday. Steve Kerr stated the painfully obvious.
Yeah.
The trust was broken. Yeah, we got it. You lost 30 road games this year because you weren't right.
Right.
30 road games, and you're defending champs. That had never happened before.
No.
They resurged in the playoffs. We get it. But Jordan Poole actually bounced back during the regular season, had a pretty good regular season, very good regular season. And then in the playoffs,
he was lost.
Draymond bounced back in Game 5 and had a good old days Game 5.
Right.
He had one of those blasts from the past.
Right.
And once upon a time, he was so much guts and glue that when he got suspended for that fateful Game 5, 2016, they weren't right in that game.
No.
And they weren't right the next game and the next game. The point is, what got me about yesterday was, he acknowledged, well,
the elephant.
The elephant. It's a big old elephant.
A pack of elephants within the room.
Pack, yeah. Okay, way to go, Steve. But in the next breath, he's campaigning for Draymond to be back. We love Draymond. We got to have Draymond. We're not the same without Draymond.
Right.
Which is it? Because somebody's going to have to make a call. Maybe you have to say that as the head coach.
Do you trade Poole?
Somebody's got to go. To me, Draymond has become more trouble than he's worth. Now, I love that flashback game because that was big time.
But Skip, we might not have seen 10 of those games in Draymond's career.
No, we haven't.
Let alone for a consistent. But here's the thing, Skip. Okay, Poole, Kuminga, and Moody was supposed to be a transition. And right now, that transition is taking a little longer than they need.
Yeah.
They need these guys to grow up, right? Because that's what a young Iggy did. That's what, Skip, Otto Porter Jr. They had guys last year, Skip, that filled in. These guys didn't give them those contributions that they had the previous year.
Yeah, back to Livingston.
Barbosa, all those guys, they always had guys that came in, played a role, and they did that.
Okay.
This is what Kuminga, Moody, and Poole are supposed to be able to do now.
So a couple of days ago, Steve said, we were never a championship team. Well, that's not what you kept telling us. You kept beating your chest saying, we're back, we're back, we're back. They weren't a championship team because they were flawed. And they run up against the Lakers. They were just too small.
Right.
Again, Kevon Looney will play his tail off. He will scratch and claw, especially on the offensive boards, and keep you afloat. But is he the answer? He's not the answer. They need new pieces. They need fresh blood. They need to revitalize around Steph and Clay.
But see, Skip, the thing is that normally one or the other would stay on cue.
Yeah.
If Steph was off, Clay was on.
Yeah.
If Clay was off, Steph was on. Well, now you got both of them off.
You caught them in Game 6. They have never been as off statistically as they were combined against you guys.
And then you don't have another guy that can go get your buckets. Who you have that can? Kevon Looney can get you rebounds, but he's not going to score your points.
It's supposed to be Jordan Poole. And what happened in Game 1? They roared back from 14 down with 5 minutes to go, and he took the shot.
Yep.
And to his credit, he stepped into it. It was 27 feet, but he's made
because he had made six already.
They'd all made 6.
Yes.
They had 3 guys make 6 threes, and he stepped into one and left it on the front iron, and that was the end of that. Right? And if he makes that shot, I don't know, maybe we're having a different conversation.
But I think at some point in time, Skip, the front office is going to have to say, Jordan, can you coexist? Can you be your best?
Yep.
With Draymond here.
And I think he's going to have, say, quietly a big no to that. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think they need to move Draymond or whatever. I don't know what his value is.
Because, Skip, his value is more than stats. His stats will never, if you just look at his stats doesn't justify him having the stature that he has in the organization. If you just look at his stats.
At one point, he was going to get a statue, right?
He still might get that thing.
Yeah.
But he does so much more. Yeah, Skip, I know he yaks, and what bothers me is that, man, he just will not go. He going on the official, Skip, and he just won't let it go. He just unrelenting.
Yeah, it's a little crazy after a while.
But he's like, oh, I done said all this. They done gave me one tech. They ain't finna throw me out. So he just keeps it going. Yep. But we knew this, Skip. We knew it changed the dynamic of their relationship. The team because you got guys that they felt bad for Poole, but you got guys that have been there the whole while with Draymond.
True.
So whose side you on?
Not Draymond's.
It was a really interesting end-of-season press conference, guys. Steve Kerr said a whole lot. I highly encourage everyone to go back and watch it in its entirety. He talked about their culture and how it had been violated. It was very telling. All right, moving on to the Eastern Conference. Guys, do you think the Celtics should be on upset alert tonight? Let's get your predictions when we come back. Losing to the Nuggets 132-126 last night. LeBron finished with 26 points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists, another flirtation with a triple-double. However, he only had 4 points in the final 11 minutes. 0 for 3 from the field. That hurt. Shannon, give LeBron a letter grade for last night.
He finished an assist shy of a triple-double.
Yep.
But it really had no impact on the game. So a non-impactful performance like that deserves a C. 26 points, shot great from the floor, 0 for 4 from the three-point line, 8 of 11. He had 12 rebounds, 3 of them offensive. Only had a block shot. So, Skip, I thought the performance, if you just look at the stat line, you're like, damn. But you see, it really didn't have the impact on the game that a stat line like this from LeBron would normally have.
Yep.
And so when the impact, I don't care what the stats say, the impact is what I'm looking for. Because sometimes, Skip, sometimes the smallest collisions cause the most damage. And so this was a situation, 45 seconds, he tried to go for a three-pointer that would tie the ball game. And so I don't really have a problem. I would have preferred him. That's Jamal Murray, try to back him down in the paint, and let's make it a free throw shooting contest.